you're powerful enough to take on all of heaven, you haven't even proven that you're the strongest in hell.
Can the angels come out to play?
Prepare the troops. We've faced impossible odds before. Together we can do it again.
Welcome back to the Nerdy Grail, and the Hellevis month has finally come to be. This is what we've all been working up to. This is what I've been working up to on my channel with all the different Hellever Boss and Hazbin Hotel content. Is obviously the premiere date for Season 2 of Hazbin Hotel, which dropped early this morning for us on Amazon Prime, and we have just sat down and watched Episode 1 and Episode 2, titled New Pentious and Storyteller. And overall, what would you say about those two episodes?
It is a very strong start to the season.
I would say it's a very strong start.
Yeah.
Definitely equal to Season 1's start, because I thought Season 1 had a really strong start. But also at the same time, this had also a very different start. A lot more of an intense start, especially when looking at Episode 1 in particular, with New Pentious.
Well, it was almost like Episode 1 and 2 both felt like Episode 1, because obviously 1 was all the Heaven storyline and 1 was all the Hell storyline.
Yeah, so you've got an idea of what each team are planning on doing. So obviously Episode 1 focused on the V's getting their revenge, or whatever you want to call it, on Charlie, and then Episode 2 focusing on then Loot
and
Serpentious and everything, yeah. Which both episodes, were fantastic. But obviously we'll go into more detail when we talk about these episodes individually. But for me, as someone who in Season 1 hated the Heaven stuff, I must admit I was quite impressed, in particular with Storyteller. But I loved New Pentious as well. I thought both were really good. We got lots of good character development and a little bit of background information into some of the characters as well.
Yes.
Which was really, really interesting. So how this is going to work is we're going to break this into two more little parts. So in the first part now, we will talk about Episode 1, New Pentious. And then we'll come together and talk about Episode 2, Storyteller. So join us in just a second as we will talk about Episode 1, New Pentious. In this section, we are going to focus on Episode 1, titled New Pentious. Quite a rather apt title, as a lot of the characters, especially Nifty, points out at one point in the episode. But this one focuses on the Hell side of the whole plot and everything that's going on in this season, whereas Storyteller focuses on Heaven. So this one obviously focusing on Charlie, the hotel, and everything going on with Vox Velvet and Valentino, who does expose himself a little bit more than I was anticipating he would in this particular episode. But you know, if you watch my channel, you know how much I love Valentino. Not sure if that's changed my opinion on him or not, but I thought it was interesting to say the least. What are your initial thoughts on New Pentious, the episode?
I really enjoyed how they set it up. The whole... Within the first 5 minutes, you knew exactly what Hell now thought of the hotel, how the V's are reacting to it, and then obviously seeing Katie Killjoy.
Yeah, Brandon Rogers getting a lot more lines. Oh, and Vox bursting in at the start, and then her basically being like, I know I've betrayed you here, how can
just throwing herself at him.
Take me, and he's like, ew, no. It's I like that they're going forward with that. And the personalities of both of them are still quite strong. There were some really good songs in this episode as well. Obviously, I've reacted to them on the channel, Has Been Guaranteed. But it was nice to actually see the visual accompany it. And I did call it, if you go back and watch my Has Been Guaranteed reaction, I said when Vox Velvet and Valentino started singing, I said, I bet they are now in V Tower. And they had. They'd taken one of the people who were going to stay at the hotel, one of the guests, so to speak, taken her back to V Tower and trying to convince her to basically trust them and be on their side, which is when then we get to the more exposing of Valentino, which...
just poaching people from the hotel for their own means. But then also just perfectly showing how Charlie's we're all a family, I love everyone here, and the V's just oh yeah, we're gonna make you a star. Actually, now we don't care about you, get lost.
Yeah, and
get out of my tower.
Yeah, you get that vibe all the way through, but it's so sweet, but also sad at the same time. Obviously, Charlie takes a while to get brought into this episode because she's up hidden away.
Yeah.
Now in the main room, she's got like a little shrine to Sir Pentious. She's almost got a bit of trauma and PTSD,
She
as we'd
definitely
say,
has
from that.
PTSD.
Because they don't know at that point until the end of this episode, spoilers I guess, that obviously Sir Pentious is alive and well, but up in heaven, has been redeemed. So it was really, really sad to see. But it's good to see
With
her
Frank.
bond with Frank.
The little egg boy.
It was good to see her relationship with Lucifer. Lucifer I adored in this episode. What was the scene that we both laughed so hard with Lucifer? Because they're getting swarmed by all the questions by the reporters and stuff. And Alistair's refusing to help at that point, isn't he? What does he do?
So Alistair is just straight up like, should I help her? Probably. Am I going to? No. Which, like, is so good, but it's such a, like, he is kind of over the hotel at this point. You kind of get that vibe. Like, yeah, it was fun when this was just kind of like a quirky little thing she was trying. Now all of hell kind of wants in on it. He's not interested. It almost feels like it's too mainstream for him now.
I also feel like he's also, and I mean, it's not apparent anyway in this episode. This is just me like going off the dome or trying to think of something. I almost feel like he's still almost, you get that sense of when something doesn't go according to plan and you feel a bit like almost embarrassed. Like obviously, because now all of hell, Vauxhall saw him being taken
he's
out.
Not happy.
He's a bit, I don't know why I'm trying. How I'm
he
trying to
doesn't
word
want
it,
to
but
be in the spotlight right now.
Because otherwise people might question, saying, "Hey, weren't you the one who got taken out by Adam, or had to run from Adam?" This, that,
well,
and the
exactly.
other.
Like Vox has footage of him running away from Adam.
So I feel like he's got a bit of that going on, which is why he's not getting into the spotlight. But also, then obviously Lucifer then comes in to save the day, so to speak. Saying like, what does he say? He's like,
now that someone more important is here to help you, while looking directly at Alice.
And he just basically does the equivalent of, what's that over there? And then he just vanishes with a big duck. And it's just like, that is a typical Lucifer thing, to run away from the problem rather than facing it head on a little bit there. He just
comes in so confident, like, I've got this, I'm the king of hell. What's that over there? Just disappears.
But also, obviously, the big new character to talk about, I suppose, is Baxter.
Yes.
Baxter, which you like Baxter a lot. I mean, I love Baxter as well. I think he's going to be great. But you in particular love him.
Well, it's because I followed some of the stuff, like, pre-season 1, like, when he was being talked about, and obviously he got cut from season 1. And just him coming in just like, I am not an inventor, I am not like Pentious, and Charlie just be like, Pentious! This is Pentious, guys! No!
And then Nicky at the end, what do we think of new Pentious? And it's like, no.
Is he the new Pentious? No!
But so I quite liked him. He will be an interesting character.
Addition.
He will be. He's going to be like lurking in the background, making sly comments.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's a scientist. He is going to be experimenting. You'll probably build stuff. There'll probably
he refers to himself as a mad scientist.
Mad scientist, yeah. I love that.
God knows what he's going to end up like doing.
I love it. I think he's going to be really, really good. All the other characters as well. Obviously, we can't forget about the regulars. You can't forget about. I love that Cherry Bomb's getting a lot more screen time because she was a character in season 1 I liked, but I would like to have seen more of her. Husk and Angel as well.
Cherry also made a point of saying, like, I'm not staying here, I'm just hanging out here.
She had a nice thing, though, where she was looking at a picture of Sir Pentious and she wanted to see him again. There's definitely a little bit of...
And then immediately realised, oh shit, I'm admitting I like this guy. I just want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, just one more time.
And Angel's giving her that look like, girl, come on.
Which Angel and Husk, I like that their relationship now is sort of a lot more, do you want to call it stable?
Yeah, well, they're very, they've still got like a little bit of the love-hate, but it's a lot more on like friendly terms. It's like friendly banter rather than actually being annoyed at each other.
Still love it from the Hazbin Guarantee song. No, I can't make a fucking Mai Tai. It's just, Husk is going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of him, to be perfectly honest.
They made Harder Daddy into a drink.
Yeah,
which is obviously a reference to the pilot.
That was brilliant. I love that. All the different drinks, and then, get me a Harder Daddy.
Which is also a bit of a Pentious reference, because in the pilot, it's when Pentious has him tied up, and Angel's going, Harder Daddy! Just to freak him out, so...
But that was fantastic. And then obviously,
so fun.
You can't talk about this episode without talking about the V's.
Yes.
Vox, Velvet, and Val. I know I've mentioned Val a couple of times about him exposing himself, but let's take it a serious peg now. I thought the V's were fantastic. All 3 of them, really good. Velvet and her different outfits,
already
brilliant.
Seeing more of how they're going to be.
Vox is terrifying, very
Yes.
unhinged.
Also, confirmation that Vox did run a cult when he was
Yeah,
alive.
well, we said about backstories, we get a little glimpse or a tiny little
Yeah.
hint towards that with Vox, which is good. Hopefully we'll get a visual thing of that, maybe.
I hope so.
Who knows?
We know we're going to find out a lot of the backstories for a lot of the characters in this series. So Viv has actually said that the whole theme of season 1 was redemption. The theme of this series is identity. So
you can tell that.
yeah, them trying to find out who they are, where their place is.
So that was really good. Like I said, you can tell we've got hints of it that the V's, but we know now that the V's want to do, well, Vox in particular, wants to take over heaven as well. He wants to rule heaven and hell, and obviously Velvet and Val in particular says in the episode, he's like, why?
He's like, yeah.
So why do we want to do that?
They've got a good thing in hell. Why would they want to take over heaven?
So I'm still rooting that they're going to turn or question him anyway at some point in the series. But yeah, Vox is definitely going to be power driven. He's very
But the
power
thing
driven.
is, they also know what Vox is like.
Yeah,
Because
they
when he
do.
starts doing the trust me, he's like, no, us, I meant us. Like, they just give him a look like, yeah, we already know what you're like.
Yeah.
So they're not even surprised at this point.
They're not. But I thought they were all done really, really well.
Yeah.
And they're going to be amazing going forward. But
Also, Vox kind of trying to tighten their leash a bit, like telling Velvet off.
yeah, exactly.
For
For what she did, and Val for hitting Angel in public. Which they show like a montage of different things we obviously hadn't seen, but that looked.
Val's
was
just
funny.
little. You're obsessed with me.
I love that. I thought that was
love them.
funny. But they just
It's
got
so
such good
funny.
chemistry, the three of them. I think it's
All three of
fantastic.
them.
So I think overall, I would say as an opener, if they only did it one episode at a time as opposed to 2 episodes, I thought this could work as a standalone
Yeah.
episode. Especially since technically you then have a cliffhanger of Emily coming in to see Charlie through a
Yes.
portal and telling her, oh, Sir Pentious is alive, but shit's going down up in heaven. You won't believe what's going on here.
It was just quite fun that we kind of got a whole summary of episode 2, like, put right at the very end at double speed from Emily.
Which, speaking of episode 2, now that we sort of summed up episode 1 and that tail end thing with Emily, we
Yeah.
can then get to see it from their point of view now in episode 2. So stick tight, because we will then do a little review on episode 2, Storyteller. Using that segue that we just had for episode 1, bringing it into episode 2, Storyteller, where this one focuses on everything that's going on in heaven and everything that Emily crammed into about 20-30 seconds at the end of episode 1, which then Charlie did that scream for, which is how my brain felt by the end of episode 1. We then get to see visually how that pans out then in episode 2, which focuses on then Sir Pentious, his redemption, Emily, Lute, you see Abel, St. Peter. You get to see everything that goes on,
everyone, really.
everything, and what the conflict's going to be on that half of the fence as opposed to the other half. So, like I did last time, what were your overall thoughts on Storyteller?
Again, a very strong story, and I didn't expect it to start with the court scene.
No, that's true. I thought they were going to build into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
You might see like Sir Pentious pop into heaven, maybe get to
Yeah.
see him walk around a bit, get used to things, then maybe get like almost like imprisoned.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
thought we'd maybe get a bit of an introduction, like, to him first arriving in heaven, because we saw that at the end of season 1. But they actually say that he's already been there for a couple of days, and it's kind of implied that they've kept him hidden all that time until they could do the court scene.
Yeah, and the court scene was really, really intense, because obviously they had the speaker of God,
Yes,
the voice
the
of
speaker
God,
of God.
come down, and you had obviously then Sarah having to be held accountable for everything that she's done. She also you got Lute as well, who's kind of angry about
The
everything that happened with
exorcists
Adam.
and what they've been doing the whole time has been
Yeah.
exposed to all of heaven now, so they've had to address that, but they sort of glossed over it a little bit. Like, Sarah was in trouble, but, like, she wasn't being punished for it.
No, she never really got punished. They did sort of just brush that aside a little bit,
As a kind of, okay, well, that's done, what are we going to do with it now, rather than...
And you've got Emily then, who's basically like, no, the evidence is before you here.
Yeah.
They can be redeemed. Sir Pentious didn't force his way in, because that was the whole running joke of the whole episode.
Yeah.
St. Peter is, I didn't let him in.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
But also, even though he is there, he is clearly, like, in an angelic form now. Sarah was just still refusing to accept that he'd been redeemed. Like, she still couldn't comprehend redemption was possible, because that meant that she was in the wrong.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it took the speaker of God literally telling her to back off, basically.
Well, you've also
For her
got...
to accept
but
that
also-
Emily was right, that he has just been redeemed. There's no trickery to this.
Well, also, at the same time, you've got then Luke screaming down their ear because of all the hurt that she feels from losing Adam, and she's just out for revenge, you know.
And her not realising that she wasn't in charge now.
No,
that
she
went to
clearly
Abel.
thought that she would be the next in command because she was Adam's right-hand person
Yeah.
and devoted to him. But then, no, Abel swans in. I like that Abel puts on
He
the
puts
little
on his
the
dad's
Adam head.
mask.
And for a brief moment, I was like, Adam. And it's like, no. He is completely different. And that's the whole point as well, is
Yeah.
Luke doesn't want to take orders from Abel because Abel is seen as weak. But that's...
Because he's nothing like Adam.
Yeah, and that's why... But they say that in the episode, that's why they brought him in, because maybe
Yeah.
he'll handle it in a more professional, different way that it should have been
Luke-
handled the first time.
Luke is too close and too emotional to the whole situation to think rationally. It's just really funny that Abel is now in charge of the army when, I mean, anyone who knows anything about, like, religion or the Bible or anything knows that Abel was always supposed to be, like, the goodest boy. Like, he was the good child.
Well, he doesn't like confrontation.
And he doesn't like confrontation.
They say that in the
He's
little board
too
meeting
nice,
they have.
He's too nice to run an army. Like, even when Sarah's like, what is your army going to do? He's just like, well, we have helmets and pointy things, and
Well,
like, he has no idea what he's doing.
well, even because then he turned to St. Peter and goes, well, I just work the gate.
Yeah, he's like, I just stand at the gate. I didn't let him in.
But I mean, like, speaking of him, obviously the big one, which, in talking about backgrounds and how they came to be, Sir Pentious is obviously the prime focus of this, and we got to see Sir Pentious in human
While
form
he was alive.
while he was alive.
I knew we'd be seeing some backstories this season. I didn't think we get Sir Pentious, and if we did, I didn't expect it to be so soon into the season.
No, it was very quick, but it was really interesting to see one of the reasons for him potentially, you know,
Yeah.
going to hell. You know,
He went to hell.
witnessing women being murdered.
Yeah.
And not saying or doing anything about it.
He didn't go to hell because of something he did. He went to hell because he didn't step in when he could have helped.
He was being a coward, which then, you know, is perfect then for the end
Yeah.
of season 1, because then he sacrifices himself for someone.
Yeah,
you know,
he went
so...
to hell for cowardice, and then when he was brave and sacrificed himself, which he wouldn't do when he was alive, that's what caused his redemption.
Which I thought was really, really good. I mean, I know I teased it. Anyone who's a Marvel fan out there, I teased it. Obviously, Sir Pentious' design. I said that he looks specifically, and I might even put a picture on the screen, that he looked like Doc Ock from Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
With his long black hair and the red
With
goggles
the
that
big
he
red
wore.
glasses.
I will put a picture somewhere on the screen just so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyone who's confused with what I'm saying, but yeah, he did for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't the whole time. I couldn't
He
take that
did.
out of my head. But I thought it was really, really good to see that, and I hope we get to see more backstories for lots of other characters in the future as well.
And also, Viv has said she will not mention any like real world events, but the date that they showed made
1888.
it very clear which very famous murderer he had witnessed and could have stopped.
Yeah, it seems like we don't want to necessarily say it in case it turns out not to be the case,
Yeah,
but it's hinted
very
that it could
heavily
be.
implied.
Yeah, if you know who it is, leave it in the comments below.
Yeah.
We won't actually say it in this video. But what I do also like about this episode is, because obviously I was dreading going into episode 2 because I'm not a fan of the heaven stuff, but I adored
Yeah.
this. This was actually really good. But I loved, obviously, Sir Pentious wanting to constantly get back to seeing his friends, and the methods that he
Bless him.
went to do that were extreme. Building machines, all sorts. And then when all of that failed, you saw the slow pulling out of a gun, going to his head.
We lost it at that point.
That-
We just saw him pull out a gun and we were gone.
And then confetti came out of it, and it was just like, okay, bless his...
And then just Emily realising, okay, maybe we're not actually helping him right now.
But she did make him some friends.
She did.
The Golden Egg Boys.
God. They're so uncanny looking.
I love them.
It
though.
was just the fact that she made him. He's like, oh, I love them. Then they just started speaking going like egg boys, and he was like, I'll tolerate them.
That is... I just couldn't believe it. But that was so predictable.
Yeah.
Especially with St. Pentious. I thought that was great. But it's nice because Emily, if you've watched like my ranking of Hazbin Hotel Season 1 characters, Emily was quite low on my list.
She's
But I
very
think-
sweet, but we didn't get much development in season
but that's
1.
what I was hoping for in Season 2. And so far, if this carries on, then she'll probably go up in my estimation as well as
Yeah.
Luke. a lot of characters that were low in season 1, I think, are going to go up now if I did a ranking every characters
Emily
list.
is very much the Heavens version of Charlie.
Yeah, which...
And you could see her, like, getting really desperate when Pentious wasn't happy.
Yeah, well, that's why she made those golden egg boys.
Yeah.
In the room that she gave to Sir Pentious, she painted like a mural of all his friends, you know, like Husk and Charlie and
Which
Baggy
is
and
also
all
funny
sorts.
that, like, she saw all the friends from that little flashback when they were watching the bar during the court case in season 1. Because Alistair wasn't there, she doesn't know what Alistair looks like, so she's just drawn this cursed actual deer.
I know, you noticed that in the background.
Which is so funny.
And also tying it all together, obviously Luke going crazy, not being listened to, obviously it ties it into Gravity, which we get to hear. But you got to see the build-up of that, her going into an alleyway, you know, she punches a wall, she's
realising
frustrating.
that she's seeing this, like...
Seeing Adam. They confirm
this, like,
how
ghost.
she's seeing Adam, you know, in her head.
Yeah.
It's all in her head, because she thinks you're
it's
alive.
It's not real, this is
Yeah.
just a version that she has created, because she is not coping with her
No,
grief.
she's really not,
And the fact that nobody, not even Sarah, is listening to her anymore.
It's like frustrating and making her really angry. And but, you know, understandably, but obviously she's not coming from a sensible place. But
also, I think I forgot to mention this when we reacted to Gravity, but during that song you can actually see Adam's guitar in the background still has red blood over it from when he cut Alistair. So that's been framed with the blood still on it.
Yeah. And then obviously at the end of this episode as well, it ties in then to episode 1, because Sarah comes to the decision that to protect all of heaven, they need to basically like seal it off.
They've gone into lockdown.
They're going into the Simpsons movie dome over the city territory, and they're blocking it all off from all other realms. And so at the last minute, Emily goes to see Charlie, and they link the 2 episodes together.
Which is interesting, because she's like, no souls in or out of heaven. And like, yeah, that stops loot. It stops Emily, which Emily managed to like squeeze in. That's why she was talking so fast in episode 1, because she literally had to be back before that dome come down, otherwise she'd be trapped in hell, presumably.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. But yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting now to see what happens going forward.
Yes.
Like I said, it was a really good episode, but just going to pause at a second. We're going to collect our thoughts, and we're just going to give a bit of a final summing up of the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So that is our reviews on episode 1, New Pentious, and episode 2, Storyteller. And I'd say, overall, fairly strong episodes. I enjoyed both of them. Obviously, they're polar opposites to each other. You've got the hell side and the heaven side, but now you've sort of got all the sort of major plot points of the season starting to come together now. Hell, obviously, with Vox, Velvet, and Val, you know, aiming to take over heaven and hell. You've obviously then got in heaven everything that's going on with loot, and obviously now heaven is now sealed off. You know, you've got a couple of the plot points all coming together now that's going to branch over the course of the series. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward.
It is the perfect start, because it has set up all of the plot lines right there in the first 2 episodes. Like, for the whole season now, we know what the V's are planning. We know what Sarah's up to. We know what Lute is up to.
It's just now the methods that they're going to use to get those
it's where they go
means.
from here now and how they get there.
More so Lute, I'm thinking, than the V's, because you can sort of kind of predict. Vox kind of gives an idea of how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas Lute, we don't really know. She says she's going to kill them all, but like, how?
Also, heaven's on lockdown, so she can't even get out of heaven right
That's what I mean.
So...
And also, there's plot threads in season 1 that, you know, I know things have come around and stuff. I'd like to see tied up, like, obviously, with Alistair. Because obviously, Alistair wasn't in an awful lot of episode 1.
No.
He's sort of keeping on the down low. I want to see him start to come into it more. And I think that's going to happen when Vox... Because we still got the shots of where Vox and the other V's like come to the hotel. And I'm sure that's when things are going to kick off.
That's going to kick off.
So I am looking forward to that. And obviously, in the trailer, we saw Sir Pentious back in his original garb. What is that a flashback, or is he actually going to end up coming back down to hell?
Which reminds me, obviously, like, spoilers are fine. This is obviously a very heavily spoiler review. But if anyone has seen any of the leaks, do not post them in the comics below.
The comics!
I'm doing it again!
The comics are coming back, people!
Do not tell us anything about any of the leaks. We are going into this as blind as possible.
Yeah, especially me. Like I keep
I have been
away,
spoiled for one
you
of
know.
the leaks.
But I know nothing
But-
outside of watching the episodes and the trailers that came out. So because I want to be shocked when I see the episodes.
Yeah. So any like little clips that we've seen that are official, feel free to talk about them. But we do not talk about any of the leaks on this channel.
No, I don't. I try my best to stay
Yeah.
away from spoilers as best I can. But I would be interested, I'm sure we would both be interested to know what everyone else thought about these episodes, because I know it's going to be going wild now for the next couple of days. Well, for next month or so now, because obviously we're going to get 2 episodes out each week, episode 3 and 4 next week.
Yeah.
But obviously Hazbin Hotel is back, and we're both really, really happy about that.
And people wouldn't know this, but I absolutely adore Nifty. So
Yes.
seeing Nifty is now kind of this celebrity in hell.
Yeah, that was an
It's
interesting
really
thing.
fun.
You know, Charlie be like, no, we shouldn't be like endorsing that. We shouldn't be like,
Yeah, like
you
she
know,
was
it's like-
acting in self-defense. She just like did what she had to do. We shouldn't be glorifying that while they're like throwing her up in the air.
and Nifty's just there
chanting
going
it.
stab, 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 and it's like, oh my goodness gracious. But no, these were some solid episodes. Great start. You know, if this is the standard that we're going to get for the rest of the season, then I think we're expecting this season to be at minimum on par with season 1 in terms of quality, if not
Oh yeah.
better than season 1. Which I must say which I didn't mention earlier in the episodes when doing the reviews, is like the animation feels a lot
Yes.
cleaner and smoother than season 1, which is going to happen anyway.
It has got a
but
slightly different feel.
yeah, the show does feel. If you watch episode 8 from season 1 and then episode 1
Yeah.
from season 2 back to back, you will notice a bit of not just a tonal difference, but also like a stylistic visual difference as well.
Yeah, they've definitely like improved a lot of the animations. It is a slightly different feel, but it's still
Hazbin
very
Hotel.
Hazbin Hotel.
Yeah, it's not like you're watching a completely different show,
No,
which does
not at
happen
all.
with some TV shows. When they change things, they do it a bit too
Yeah.
dramatically. But I think this is a subtle enough change to where it improves the show, but still keeps it true to its core, which is what you
definitely.
want. But I hope you did enjoy this review of episodes 1 and 2 of Hazbin Hotel. If you did, like it by giving it a thumbs up. And comment down below in the comments your thoughts on the season. But like my fiance said, spoilers are a no-go on this channel.
Yeah, nothing about the leaks.
Yeah, nothing about any leaks, nothing, because if I see them, it will spoil it, and I don't want to
Yeah.
go into these episodes spoiled, to be perfectly honest.
Anything will be deleted because we.
Yeah, I will
We are
remove
not.
those comments. And subscribe if you are new, but for now, this is the Nerdy Girl signing off. Hope you've had an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.